Thank you, Joshua. Um, I was invited today to tell a story of um, a project relating to building the kind of community house. And essentially, March 2018, my partner and I purchased a home in the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And when we were negotiating the purchase of that home, there was a very lot of paperwork. There were lawyers involved, and there were commitments made to banks and commitments made to municipalities, and nothing we didn't see it anywhere represented about the responsibility to the land that we were that there must be a way that we can be responsible keepers of space and folk schooling is a tradition in Nova Scotia that dates back well over 100 years, but I suppose folk schooling dates back to eons in terms of it being a means to exchange knowledge. I'm just seeing a note here that I'm breaking up. Is that the case?
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning closer towards the internet. Is it a problem hearing me now?
I think that we just have to keep going as is.
Okay, it is what it is. Another challenge of life in Nova Scotia is unstable or unstable internet.
Okay.
So yeah, we looked to the historical model of the people schools that were a large part of the Antigonish movement here in Nova Scotia, and designed this kind of idea that we could share our space with members of the community who would be willing to come in and teach in our home any traditional skills or knowledge that they possess that they'd be willing to share with the community. So we opened up the doors and found facilitators. We host the space, but we don't teach in our own home. The Life Schoolhouse model is based on partnership between a host of the community who is there exclusively to ensure that people are connecting through this experience, that they're feeling welcome, that they are drawn into this experience in a formalized way. That role is a formalized piece of the project. And we find facilitators in the community who are willing to come in and teach any number of topics. We've had everything from cooking classes to leather bookbinding and carpentry and plumbing and mending and technical skills, resume writing, mixed media and art and pottery, you name it. We've actually, in the very first year, we did more than 53 classes in the first year in our home. And all of these sessions require so that their skills on an exchange with the participants that is non-monetary. So the participants who come into the class are able to come into the session and bring gifted items to exchange with the facilitators. And by way of barter, the facilitators are compensated for their knowledge and the skills that they're sharing. And that's essentially how it has cost, other than emotional labor, very few actual dollars to keep this going because it's being held in our space. And yet we have, in the last 18 months, held now more than 90 plus sessions. I think we're at 96 this week. And we've also started an initiative of maker swaps, because a lot of the people who were attending the classes were getting really good at the skill that they were developing. And I like to joke because my mother-in-law she knits a lot of scarves. Everyone has scarves. Everyone who knows her probably has a dozen scarves. And the maker swaps have created an opportunity for people to do what they love, but to exchange those things for other items within the community. So we get 50, 60 plus people that will show up in my living room or in my backyard or in spaces like that, where we put out tables and people will bring what they would like to offer into the community, and others can take what they need. And it's all just kind of based on social rules that have been normed and formed by the community. And none of it needed to kind of be enforced or set down. It was something that kind of rose out from the meeting and finding each other in that space. So it's my fault, kind of interest in having this be a 2 children, 2 full-time jobs, and this gig got a little busy. So we actually, my connection is unstable. I hope you can still hear me. We've modeled our little creation so that it can be shared with whomever is interested in picking up on this. And we now have 12 different venues in Nova Scotia that are interconnected with a network of hosts. And they engage in their own school, in their own communities. So a lot of these communities are rural. These hosts is our model as kind of a light to stand under and engage own communities. So they have kind of your baby learn how to walk, kind of takes off on its own. And each one of these venues are now able to manage their own work, their own sessions. And not sure what of that you missed. I see that I was frozen for a period of time. But anyway, it's like I said, it's about watching your baby get up and walk away. Each one of these venues are independent and they have enough tools to be functional in their work on their own. And we support them now with peer mentoring. There's a network of mentors within the hosts network that they can support things that hosting community. And yeah, that's been a heck of a year and a half for us, this initiative. One of the evolutions, I suppose, is, or the most relevant for this group would be that model that we've created is held in the commons with the intention of sharing it with anybody who's interested in taking it and replicating it. So we built it with the intention to share it with whomever's interested in giving it a try. It's not rocket science, but its model is one that is formed enough that people can take it and make it their own. So I suppose that's a good place to stop an intro.